Happy Friday, neighbors. I'm Jason Gadd, Mayor of the City of Hopkins, and I hope you're staying safe and staying healthy. Information and situations are changing all the time, so I thank you again for joining me this week to provide you an update for May 22nd. And I bear with you, this is a little bit longer, but a lot of information. I'm going stir crazy. I need to get out. I don't see anything wrong. Why can't I get out with my neighbors and my friends? Now, I've heard these statements, and I'm sure you've heard or made the same statements yourselves. With so many uncertainties, so many sources of information, I know it can get stressful to know what to do, why we are doing it, and how long will things keep changing. I understand the need for these questions, and yet I also understand that we need us to do what we can to ensure the safety and good health of everyone around us. Continuing to maintain physical distance when out in public. Wearing a mask when you go shopping stores now. Washing your hands and disinfecting more often are key for us to ensure we're protecting each other. I know we want to get rid of restrictions and guidelines, yet we need patience. Patience is what will get us through this pandemic. Patience with our neighbors who may not have the same stress or fears we do. I want to let you know that patience is what we need right now. I came across a statement from Bruce Lee that put it in perspective for me. Patience is not passive. On the contrary, it is concentrated strength. It takes a lot of personal strength for us to remain patient and find small ways for us to work together and help each other out. On the city side, this past Tuesday, the City Council started to receive and review financial impact of having our public buildings closed and seeing exactly what COVID-19 is having on the budget of the City of Hopkins. Having buildings closed such as the Hopkins Pavilion, the Hopkins Activity Center, and the Hopkins Center for the Arts is causing a drop in our revenue. And I wanted to share with you that our anticipated revenue reduction is forecast between $400,000 and $1.1 million for the year. And that depends on a number of variables, including how much property tax is collected. And we won't know that until later this summer. And also how long the buildings are closed until we are able to safely reopen and protect the public and large groups again. Staff has already identified some ways to reduce our 2020 budget to help with that lost revenue already, with items such as eliminating training and travel budgets, delaying filling vacant positions, helping with the salary, reducing hiring our part-time seasonal help, and also reducing services and staff at some of our buildings because of their closures. Now, these are not easy decisions, but they are necessary. We also had a bond rating this week, which means Standard & Poor's assessed our financial soundness and our budget management and reaffirmed our AA+ rating with our stable outlook. To me, that's exciting news because it shows just how strong our city is. And I thought it was important to share with you some of their direct statements they made about the city. This is from their independent assessment. Given the uncertainty in the current economic environment stemming from the recent spread of COVID-19 and the possible financial repercussions and pressures that could arise, in their view, the city could face pressures similar to those in the last recession, possibly including reductions in property values and state aid receipts, which could lead to the reduced and decreased revenues over the medium term. However, even given a recession, Standard & Poor's believes Hopkins has sufficient financial flexibility to address uncertainties and budget pressures. Generally, our rating outlook timeline is up to 2 years out. But given the uncertainty around the pandemic, the current Standard & Poor's view of the credit risk to the city centers on the more immediate budget effects of 2020. Now, the AA+ rating reflects the Standard & Poor's assessment of these characteristics of the city. Hopkins has a very strong economy with access to broad and diverse metropolitan area. They also have a very strong management with key strong financial policies and practices under the financial management assessment methodology. Adequate budgetary performance with operating results that they expect would improve even from the near relative fiscal 2018, which did close with an operating deficit. Very strong budgetary flexibility with an available fund balance in fiscal 2018 of 20% of operating expenditures. A very strong liquidity with total government available cash at 95% of total government fund and 4.8 times the governmental debt service, and access to external liquidity we consider strong. And they do have a weak debt and contingent liability position with debt service carrying charges at 20% of expenditures. But because of rapid amortization and 71% of the debt scheduled retired in 10 years, maintains that stability. As I said, this was a direct statement from Standard & Poor's assessment. And to me, the very strong budget management over the last few years has enabled our city to be in a position to weather this economic impact of this health crisis. As the total impact continues to be understood, we will be reviewing the changing climate and restrictions and seeing how that affects our budgets and looking at options to maintain our fiscally sound budget. The information we learn from these reviews will play into how we also begin to look at and create the 2021 budget for the city. Another great outlook is that our retail businesses are able to start to reopen and share their services with us. Now, I had a chance to stop into a couple of them this week, and I'm amazed at how they've adapted to ensure the health and safety of their patrons and are willing to continue to serve our city. We are also working with our restaurants and bars and our brewery as they look to partially open again on June 1st for outdoor seating. Creativity within the businesses as well as in what the city is and we're able to work with them on is how we'll revitalize the economic health of our local businesses. And now you and I can do our part by shopping locally and supporting these businesses that have supported us over the years. This weekend leads up to Memorial Day. It means a lot to me, and I take this time to reflect on the sacrifice that our service members have made for our country over the years. This weekend, I also remember my dad's service and commitment to the military and to our country, and how men and women across the country willingly step up and put on uniform to take on that responsibility of ensuring our freedoms. We can't say thank you enough for that. Tomorrow, Laura and I will take some time to volunteer with Flags for Fort Snelling and place flags at headstones for families that specially requested it. It is just a small way we can give back to recognize those veterans and their families. And I thank Fort Snelling for allowing the small group to still recognize these veterans and their families. And I want to give a special thank you to all veterans and families that are part of our Hopkins community. Thank you for everyone for joining me today. Again, please share this information with your neighbors who may not be on social media. I look forward to seeing you out in the community, and remember, stay well.